I've just started. I'm in 2027 with Man United, but it just felt a bit easy, so I wanted a bit of a challenge, so just mixing it up a bit.
You got a bit of a challenge in the ring then, don't you, on Saturday? How are you looking forward to
that? Well, I've never. The problem is I've not seen much of him. He's a big man and he's had 19 fights, knocked them all out. You can look at the competition and say it's not great, but he's done exactly what he needs to do with him. So I can't sit here and knock him because he's done everything right. I do feel like the lack of amateur experience and the fact that 21 rounds will cause him major problems because no one gets rid of me in a couple of rounds. It's never happened. I know my durability. I'm defensively quite cute, and there's no way Phil can get me out there in a couple of rounds. And then I think with his lack of experience, he'll be in big trouble.
How difficult is that to prepare for a fight for a guy that you've seen or can see little of?
I don't care at all because I want to do what I'm going to do. I'm in great shape. I'm very confident. It ain't going to be much difference to what you usually see from me, but I'm going to do everything a little bit faster. I'll be hitting that a little bit harder. There's not going to be too many differences, but everything's going to be done quicker and better and a bit cuter and everything. And I'm really excited about it. I think he's the right opponent. He's going to look really good as long as he don't look too fat when we get in there. As long as he don't look a mess, it's the perfect fight to make me look good.
How big a fight is this for you in your boxing career?
Well, in terms of, I'm not boxing yet, so I can't say. We'll go for, like I said, I'm going off his record again, but I've been in there with Ortiz. I've been in there with world title challengers, Olympic gold medalists, headline the O2, whatever else. So for me, this is a run of the mill appearance. Really, it's just another pay-per-view appearance. Just another one. But it's a big one because he's 15 with WBA. That's what this fight's all about. It's about a WBA ranking, and I beat him. I take that. This is my last chance to ever get near world level effectively. People say I've had enough chances already, but it is what it is. This is boxing, and whether it's my personality or whether it's people wanting to watch me fight or whatever it is, it doesn't matter because I'm here again. I've got another opportunity, and I plan on taking it with both hands. And when I take a WBA world ranking, I'm going to sit nicely on that, and then we're going to get them on world char fight at the O2 for the WBA regular. I've already got it all worked out. I've got to let Eddie know.
Oh man, good luck in your football manager season as well.
Thank you very much, mate. Cheers.
Take care.
Thanks, Arif. If you pass over to Ron Lewis from Boxing Scene next, please, Ron.
Dave, hi, mate. You
mate.
mentioned him there. Ortiz, compare yourself now to yourself when you fought Ortiz. How much have you moved on in those years?
Well, when I boxed Ortiz, I had 10 amateur fights. 8 of them I had in 6 months, in a spell of 6 months. And then I turned pro. Never went past 6 rounds. I think I stopped 7 of them inside 2 rounds. So I never got any rounds. I never really had any experience at all. And the next thing you know, I'm in there with the first fight that I struggled was I boxed the French heavyweight champion after 17 fights, amateur and pro, and no one really put any thought into that. But that takes some doing, really. So I beat him, and then they put me with Jason Gavin, which was another hard night due to inexperience. And then I'm in with Dylan White and Lewis Ortiz back to back. And looking back, I don't think there's many fighters in the world after 20 fights, amateur and pro, could go 10 rounds Dylan White, 7 with Ortiz. And on top of the lack of experience, I'd not even trained a day for Lewis Ortiz. I probably trained 3 times in 5 months after the White fight for Ortiz. I took him 7 rounds. It's night and day in terms of fitness and in terms of everything else, training and whatever. Night and day. I've been sparring in Usyk. I'm in good shape. But in terms of experience, where I'm at as a fighter, I don't think I've ever been better. I genuinely don't. I think I've still only had 35 fights amateur and pro. People talk about Anthony Yard. He's only had 40 fights amateur and pro, and he's boxing Kovalev. I've been in there with Ortiz. I've been in there with Yoke. I've been in there with all of them. And I think now the sparring with Usyk brought me on again, and the training with Jamie. I genuinely feel I'm a real top 20, top 25 heavyweight in the world right now. And I'll show that Saturday, and I'll show it beyond that as well. I've got a confidence about me now that's only come with sitting back, looking at my career, and saying, you know what, the stuff I've done with the experience I've got and the shape I've been is unbelievable.
Did you kind of need that? Because obviously after the Price loss, you were talking a bit about, not going on with things. But did you need that sort of time to look back and appreciate what you've done and what you could still do?
Yeah, I think starting my first amateur fight, 18 years of age, and having 10 of them, and then it was hard. Starting out was hard. My first 2 fights, my pro career was 6 2-minute rounds because my manager at the time was like, "You've got no experience, David. Like this is going to be hard to do anything." In my 6th pro fight, I got a draw with a Bulgarian journeyman. I was struggling. I've always been a great athlete, but fighting in front of people and fighting in front of big crowds and stuff like that, it takes some getting used to. And like I said, when I boxed Wyatt, 20 fights in my whole career, it was daunting. The same with Ortiz. The worst thing, the one inexperience I got was Lenroy Thomas fight, the first one at Bramwell Lane. I really struggled with that because that was fight 23, amateur and pro. I'm down there at Bramwell Lane, my local football ground. It was scary stuff. And I think after the Price fight, it took a while, and I thought, the stuff I'm doing is unbelievable. I don't think there's anyone else in boxing that has achieved the same things. I've not been successful all the time, but the fighters I've been in with and the rounds I managed to take them, and the Lucas Brown winning it win, I look back at it now and I'm very proud of it. And I just thought, why not get in good shape, David, and have a go of it? Because there's got to be a bit of talent there, because pretty much everything I've done has just been on natural talent, really, and that's it.
On your first-hand experience, how good's Usyk?
He's very good, yeah, very good. I can always tell when someone's good because when I spar him, I will learn. I can feel myself learning at the time. That's when I sparred Dereck Chisora, and Dereck Chisora hit me, and I thought, oh God, that hurt, and it was shoving me, and I thought, oh, he's strong. But when I sparred Usyk and the likes of Fuiry, Usyk hit him with a straight left to the body. On the Monday, he hit me with it. On the Wednesday, he hit me with it. On the Friday, he hit me with it. On the second Monday, I hit him with a straight right hand to the body, and I looked at him, and I started laughing, and he started laughing. And he don't understand the word I'm saying, but I got that from you. And he kind of looked at me and nodded, and I thought, God, this man is good. Because he's even teaching me how to throw a straight right hand to the body. He must be good. So no, it was an amazing experience. He's an amazing fighter. Maybe the best fighter I've ever shared the ring with my whole career, sparring, fighting, whatever. He's unbelievable.
Excellent. Thanks, Dave. Speak to you soon,
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Thanks, Ron. Next, if we pass over to Danny Flexen from SecondsOut.
Hi, Dave. How you doing?
Danny Flexen, what you saying?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, all good, thank you.
You said you learnt a lot from Usyk. You could feel yourself learning while you were in there. Just give us a breakdown of some of the main things you learned from the sparring and how you see the main event going as well.
Well, I think within what it was is, I went over there with the thought process of, I'm going there to learn. I'm going there to do what's best for me. I'm not going there to be a punch bag because that obviously is a paid sparring partner. I'm there to please them. But I thought, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not a kid anymore. I've been a sparring partner for Klitschko, Fuiry, Joshua, and for the most part, I've been a paid punch bag. So, with the prize fight experience behind me, how many miles I got left on the clock, I'm not sure. I went over to learn. So, I was boxing him. I was watching him shadow box. I was watching everything he did. And when I sparred him, all the things he was doing that was good. I was just trying to copy him. I'm not a southpaw, and I can't move as good as him because I've got legs 3 times the size. So I've not got quite the same movement, but I was copying his movement. I was everything he did, I tried. I'm not saying they came off, and when you're doing it against a man that good, it's impossible. And with the sparring, one thing I noticed from how good he was is when I landed a really nice right uppercut on the second day of sparring. It was a beautiful shot up close. He's not great up close, I'll be honest with you. He's not a fantastic fighter up close. As soon as I got up close, I had all the success I wanted, to be honest. If I could just get him to stand still for 12 rounds, I think I beat him. But getting him to stand still is a different thing. I never hit him with that same shot again. I never hit him with the same shot twice. I think with Dereck, with the fight, I think Dereck will struggle because I think Dereck's game plan will be, let's just walk him down. He's a smaller man. He can't punch. He's not very strong. I'll walk him down. He'll be very sorely mistaken because I don't think Oleksandr's the strongest man in the world, the physically strongest, and I don't think he takes the best knockout. He's the strongest up at heavyweight. But if you walk straight onto Usyk, he'll knock you out. He caused me some severe trouble with his left hand. He hit me with a left hand on the chin and really steadied me up. To be honest, I've not been hit like that for many years. He really hurt me, and Didn't go over though. Didn't stop. You know what I mean? I said, "Come on." He hit me, and I went, "Whoa!" And he went, "You all right?" I said, "Fucking am I all right?" I said, "Carry on, what are you doing?" But no, he can punch. He can really punch because he's quick, and he throws a left hand. As he said to him, he throws it really wide. He arcs it round, but it's not one of my right hands. You know, when I arc the right hand like a cricket ball, I'm just thinking, "Fucking have this outside the pub." He's got a bit of fault to it. You know what I mean? He arcs it round. It's a great shot. So I think with Dereck, I give Dereck 6 rounds to win this. I don't think he wins 7-12 like a lot of people do. I think if he wins, it's got to be 1-6.
And just another thing, you've taken a bit of a social media hiatus. I just wanted to ask you why you chose to do it, and are we going to see you back anytime soon?
Because Twitter's full of dickheads. That's why. Top and bottom of it, it's full of pricks. But I'm on Instagram. Instagram's a really nice audience. And you know me, yeah, I'm into my childish jokes. You know, I've got a bit of childish banter. I'm funny with it. I just want to make people laugh, you know, make them laugh, make them smile every day. And Twitter's not the audience for that. So I'm not bothered about Twitter. I'm not bothered about social media, really. I go on there because I like to spread a bit of positivity and I enjoy doing it. But as far as Twitter's concerned, that's a no-go. But I felt better for it. I don't need to read everyone's opinions about me. There's very few opinions I care about. Oleksandr Usyk and his team thinking I'm a good fighter, want me to stay a bit longer. That built my confidence. They know what they're on with. They want me to stay there and keep going. I sparred 3 of the last 4 heavyweight champions of the world. I've sparred him. Povetkin wants to win this camp. He's been ringing me non-stop the last couple of weeks to go over there. So they're the opinions I care about. I don't care about John from fucking his back bedroom. I couldn't give a fuck what he thinks because he ain't got a fucking clue. So I'm happy taking the opinions of the world-class fighters over people on Twitter. But I like Instagram because it's a good audience and we have a good crack on there.
Follow Dave on Instagram is the message. Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Danny. Ryan from Boxing Social. Do you want to jump in next, please?
Go on, Ryan. Where are you?
I'm here, mate. How you doing?
Hello. You all right? Where's Tebbit?
Tebbit's binned you off, mate. It's me today.
I saw it yesterday.
I've only got a couple of questions for you, Dave, and then I'll let the other guys sort of get a word in with you. You've spoken about, you know, earlier in the career, sometimes maybe the occasion getting you a little bit. Yeah. You're taking your training seriously now. You've had some world-class sparring. There's a potential world ranking there for you. Does it feel like it's all coming together a bit now at this stage of your career?
You know what? It was never the occasion because I'm not a nervous guy, really, as you know. I'm not a nervous character. But, you know what comes with experience? I train fighters at home, as you know. I've got Danny Morel, who's had 50 amateur fights, right? I've got another kid, Liam, who's had 5 amateur fights. So they spar with each other. And in terms of athletic ability, Liam's a better athlete, yeah? And he can look after himself. He's a bit bigger than Danny. So for 2 rounds, it's always close. For some reason, in the 3rd and the 4th, Liam's gone, exhausted. And that's experience. And that's what I've suffered with. I've been a great athlete, which I have. Underneath the fat, I was a top-class track and field. I was a good footballer, a lot any sport. But experience is key. If you're not experienced with anything, you'll be knackered. You know, I've not played football for years. I couldn't go and play 90 minutes time because I'd be knackered. Because that experience and they're doing it over and over and over again. That's where you get. It's not fitness, it's stamina. I've not had boxing stamina. You know, it's not that I've been a fat bastard either. That's definitely not helped the fitness. But experience is key. So I think that's been the problem for me. And I think now that I've got, and you know what? I started to get a bit of experience. I was doing the 10 with White, 10 with Yoka, 7 with Ortiz, 12 with Thomas. But I never had confidence in the experience. But now I do. Saturday night, I'll go in the ring and I'll go, you know what? I've gone 12 with Thomas, 10 with Yoka. I've done the rounds. This one's done 1 and 2. So instead of bottling it, putting my hands up and just thinking I'm going to fucking fill you in eventually, I'm going to go, you know what? Let's box. Because I'm a boxer. I have a 25 pro fight. I box for titles. I box world-class men. Come on, Christopher, you big fat bastard. I will box your head clean in. And that is what we're going to do. And that's the confidence that I've got now. I'm so confident. I'm an experienced pro. I told my dad the other day, my dad had 30 pro fights and he's talking to me. I said, listen, I've had 25 pro fights, yeah? I said, I boxed them all. Boxed them all. And he went, yeah, you're right. I said, well, why don't you just go out there and box like an experienced pro? I said, I think I'm going to. So I'm over the moon. With experience has come I've got a real confidence about me.
We always say with heavyweights, you're only ever a couple big wins away from a big fight. A world ranking comes to this, as I mentioned. You'll be number 15. How big an incentive is that for you, Dave, at this stage of your career, a world ranking?
Well, I'm 2 fights from Joshua if I win Saturday night. You know what I mean? We're back there again. But the world ranking, that's what this fight is all about. Because to be honest, Lovejoy, we don't know anything about him. As always, people have been saying, why is Dave Allen on pay-per-view again? Every time I fight anybody, it captures the imagination. Again, everyone wants to watch me and Lovejoy now. If you look at the Instagram and you look online, don't look at Twitter, don't look at YouTube comments, everywhere else, yeah, everyone is buzzing for this. I think it's 2 big lumps, yeah. On the outside looking, it's 2 big lumps with big gobs, and they're gonna have a go at it. We're gonna have a go at it. So any fight I'm in, it usually sells. It usually gets attention. Lovejoy says he's got 5,000 followers off the back of the fight being announced. I said, you're welcome. But I'm in an excitable mood. And yeah, so I can't remember what the original question was. But yeah, no, the top 15 ranking. Yeah. Am I going to be world heavyweight champion? While Fuiry and Joshua are about, you're struggling to see it really, aren't you? But there's no harm with getting a world ranking and getting some big fights. And I think, as I said earlier, I think right now as a city, I'm a top 20, 25 heavyweight in the world. And I think with a couple more wins, I think I can be a legitimate top 15 man before my career's over.
Only a couple more from me, Dave. You've gone from being the underdog against Christian Hammer to now being a significant favourite against an opponent we haven't really seen anything of. Has the mindset changed at all? Has anything changed?
Well, you know, when I was watching Hammer, I was really nervous because Hammer's a really good fighter. I'm not saying Lovejoy's not, but Hammer's tried, tested, proven. It was a really hard night. I was going 10 rounds for definite. It would have been a real test of this newfound confidence of my experience and doing. I'd have had to been on my A game, and maybe that would not have been enough because I think Hammer's a real top 15 man. Like I think he is. You know, if you're not top 5, top 10, I don't think you're beating him, and you're not even stopping him if you are at this point. So Lovejoy, he could be anything. There's a bit of trepidation because I'm sure he can punch. He can definitely punch. And I'm not stupid enough to think, you know what, I'll just walk straight for him because he might not be very good because people online are saying that he's only been knocking out useless fighters. But I'm not daft, you know. I'll go in, I'll have a look at him. And if he's no good, I'm pretty sure I'll take him out with no fuss whatsoever because people say Dave Allen's no good. Well, what I can tell you is if they're no good, they'll get took out with no fuss at all. And if you know better than decent, I'll beat you. So we'll just have to see Saturday night. I know about as much about him as you do.
All right, Dave, I'm going to pass you on to the other guys. Good luck with the fight and good luck with the new football manager save as well.
Thank you very much. Well, 2 games undefeated as Milton Keynes boss. Anyway, thank you very much.
Congratulations, Dave.
Cheers, Ryan. Steve from Boxing UK. Steve, you want to jump in?
Steve.
Hello, Dave.
Steve, how you doing?
I'm all right. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you? Look at that beard.
Can you see me all right?
I see you.
Good lad. Dave, new trainer.
Yeah.
New confidence. What can fans expect on Saturday that they won't have seen before from Dave Allen?
Well, like I said earlier, I don't think much is going to really change. I don't think we're going to change massively, really. Everything a little bit faster, a little bit quicker. It's the confidence. I think I've always had the talent, always had the athletic ability, but I've never had the mindset with it. And I credit Jamie for a lot of that. James gave me a lot of belief. Darren Barker told me in the gym, you can be any heavyweight in the world, David, if you're on your top of your game and you go in there and you do everything correct. And for this fight, you know what? It's not been perfect. Never it is. It won't be it was not for Christopher and it won't be for anyone else on the card. But I've never felt as good as this. I've never felt as confident. I've never felt as physically good, mentally in a better place. So I'm over the moon. I'm over the moon with it. I just can't wait for Saturday.
Good man. Last time we spoke, Dave, you said, I promise I'll headline the O2 again.
Yep.
Being serious, mate. Now that it's 4 days out, this must mean an awful lot to you.
Yeah, I think this fight, winning this fight, I think could set me up to headline the O2 again. Gives me a world ranking. I'm blessed to have a massive following. Headline the O2 before. I think beating Lovejoy, it's not about beating Lovejoy. This is not about beating Christopher Lovejoy. It's about beating the number 15 Frank heavyweight with the WBA. That's what this fight is, you know. I'm not overlooking Christopher Lovejoy at all because there's nobody in the world right now that is more wary of him than me. You know, other people will look and say he's no good or whatever else. I'm looking at him thinking, I'm only looking at the positives of him. I don't look at negatives. If I just look at the positives, you know, because the negatives, they'll find. I've got the experience now where any negatives, I'll find them in the ring and I'll expose them. Well, the positives are what I've got to look at, and they're what I've got to worry about. So, so there's no overlooking him, but it's nice to be excited, and I'm excited. It's been a long time since I've been excited about boxing, so it's a great feeling, and this week I'm going to really enjoy it.
Good man. Last one for me. I interviewed Christopher on Sunday night and asked him for a prediction, and he said, no doubt he's going to knock you out in the second round.
Yeah.
I presume you don't agree. So how do you think the fight's going to go, mate?
Well, if he knocks me out in the second round, I'll be amazed. I think it comes down to experience. You know, I'm sure this fella with another 20, 30 fights as an amateur or a pro, it will be a different proposition altogether. But he's not, so be very interesting. But I don't see any way that this man can beat me because I don't think he's that good.
Do you want rounds or do you want to knock them out?
I'm not bothered, mate. I'd be very surprised if this man stands up to me as soon as I hit him. I expect it to be over as soon as I hit him, in all honesty.
Good man. Dave, best luck on Saturday, mate. I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you very much, Steve. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. I think we've time for two more before we have to let Dave go. And if you pass over to Jonathan first, and then we'll finish with Charlie.
Hey Dave, John here from Pro Boxing Fans.
Hello, John. You all right, mate?
Yeah, not bad, thanks. When you went over to the Ukraine and sparred Usyk, how does it compare to the guys you've sparred in the past, your likes of Tyson Fuiry, Joshua, Klitschko? I know you said he's probably the best you've been in, but what were, briefly, the key differences?
Well, I don't like flying, for one. So when I sparred Joshua, I was a 20-minute drive away. When I sparred Fury, an hour drive away. Sparring Usyk, it was a 7-hour trip with a 3-hour flight, so I weren't really best impressed with that. But in terms of the boxing, if we're talking just purely boxing, the difference between Usyk and the other guys are he's not really an heavyweight. And for me as a fighter, what I struggle with is speed. I struggle with speed and good feet. If you're fast and you've got good feet, you're going to give me a lot of problems, to be honest. Because the way I fight like I was always taught, and I'd still try and fight like a fight from back in the 50s and 60s. Slow feet. My hands aren't necessarily the fastest, but I try. But I've got that style. So for me, Usyk's a nightmare stylistically, which makes him seem to me better than the others. Him and Fury, there's nothing between them. But the only difference is the size difference. You know, Usyk moves like a middleweight, where Tyson moves like a light heavyweight. You know, they're both elite and they're both the two best fighters in the world. They could be the best pound for pound in the world. I'd put them two with Crawford, Lomachenko, Lopez, and a few others. You know, Canelo. That's how good I believe them two are. I think Usyk and Tyson are a few levels in terms of boxing ability in front of everybody else. But Usyk, he just did everything so much neater than everybody else. He moved so much better than everybody else. His reflex was so much better than everybody else. But again, that comes down to the fact that he weighs 4 or 5 stone less than Tyson, 3 stone less than Anthony, and a few stone less than the others. So with that weight differential, which means he moves a little bit better, means he won't take a knock as good, which means he won't be as physically strong, which means he's not as heavy-handed, even though he probably hurt me more than the others. So there's so many different things, and you could ask someone else that sparred all three, and he would probably deal with Usyk better than the other two because his style would be more suitable. So you could ask me who's the best, but you could ask someone else. They give you a totally different answer. But what I can say is, if we're talking about them three, as the best heavyweights in the world. All three are absolutely unbelievable, but they're all very different in their own ways.
And just sort of lastly, because I know there's a few other people waiting, moving to Jamie Moore, Nigel Travis, that setup. What have you, in the brief time you've been there, I know you've been in Ukraine, haven't been there long, what have you learned the most? And secondly, you've always said you've performed in sparring with the guys we've mentioned, but you found it difficult on fight night to truly show that. Do you think under Jamie and Nigel, that's what's going to happen?
I think the difference with Jay is what Jamie's done for me is just giving me confidence. I've got confidence. Usually when I'm in any kind of fight, whether it be Nick Webb, Luis Ortiz, Dillian White, anyone, or a 4-rounder against a junior at the start of my career, I would just panic. I would just say, I need to get in there, and I need to get rid of him ASAP, because if I don't, I'm going to gas out. That's what I would think. I'd be scared to death. I've never been scared of not being good enough. I've never been scared of anything other than the fact that I just couldn't do the rounds. And Jamie's just instilled so much confidence in me. I just feel like a different person. Not even boxing, just a person. Because I've always been known to be very loud and brash, but really, I'm a very shy, quiet kid. And with the boxing, it's been the same. You know, there's been a lot of hot air and bluster, but inside there's been so much doubt. And I think Saturday night, I'm really hopeful. And for the first time in my career, I'm not even hopeful. I'm expecting that I will perform.
Cheers, Dave. Thanks for speaking to pro boxing fans. All the best.
Cheers, John. Thank you, mate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Last but not least, we've got Charlie before we pass on to Tommy McCarthy. Charlie, do you want to jump in?
All right, Dave. How are you, mate?
Hello, Charlie. You all right, mate?
Yeah, all good, thanks. Just one thing that I want to pick up on. He's Christopher Lovejoy said on his Instagram live that he's going to weigh in at 350 pounds for this fight. His last fight, he weighed, well, we can't take the weights out of Mexico too seriously, but 236. It could have been, but 270. But let's say he's 100 pounds over. You say the person that's going to give you the most trouble is someone who's light, quick on their feet. This man, if he does come in at 350 pounds, is not going to be quick on his feet unless he's a freak of nature. What do you make of him coming in at that?
Well, the heavier the better for me. Like you say, he's a big man. He's about 6'5". I don't believe he weighs 16.5 stone since he was about 12. But obviously, if he's 350, I don't think he's 350. I think he likes to play a game. I'd be very surprised if he is. But the heavier the better. I'm hoping he's 450. You know, the slower the better. Because I've always been a believer that anyone in the world that will stand with me, I will beat. And someone that's done 21 rounds as a pro that weighs over 20 stone, I don't see how he gets out the first round with me, to be honest. And that's not me being overconfident. That's me looking at it for what it is. He's done 21 rounds. He's never been in with anybody, any good. Looking at his record, he doesn't last a round with me. I'd be very surprised. And if I don't stop him, you know, people say, "Oh, well, it'd be a good result if you beat him." If I don't stop him, then I don't deserve to be anywhere near the top 15. I don't deserve to be anywhere near the top 50 if I can't stop him. Because looking at it for what it is, he's a novice pro. All the pressure's on me, and I don't mind it because I think he's way out of his depth.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, mate, and all the best come Saturday.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Dave. There's some brilliant answers there, so I really appreciate your time, mate. Enjoy the rest of isolation, and we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully.
Cheers, mate. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.